The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
What's going down? What's going on? Another episode of Hanging with the Boys. We are back. Our fearless leader, Shannon, cannot be with us today. He got a big meeting with the big bosses, the last name Jones. So when those meetings come up, you got to go. You just can't come hang out with us schmucks. You got to go to the meeting with the Joneses. I am joined by three-time Super Bowl champion Nate Newton, as well as DC.com writer Kurt Daniels. You're looking at a live view of the Ford Center, the Tostitos Championship Plaza. With today's weather is I like this weather. This weather to me is the best kind of weather. It's about, let me see here, 88 degrees, high of 90, partly cloudy. You know, the sun's not beating down on you. Yeah. You can go out there and
I like a little beat down on the sun.
Not me. You know, because you get real black when the sun get beat down on you.
Yeah, and I get Tostito? I get really Tostito.
So you get a chance to walk out there, enjoy, you know, your day at lunch and not sweat out your drawers when it's really, really hot outside, you know. Yep. But we got a lot to talk about today. Waves, cuts, who got brought back, who didn't stay, the Cowboys this, the Cowboys that. A lot of Cowboy football. 11 days, Kurt. 11 days until we are playing some real-life football. Nate, we'll get into that. Are we ready? I know 11 days is a lot of time, but today, would you say that we're ready to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? But we'll first start off we talked about this last week. One of our title sponsors here is Wingstop.
The title sponsor.
The title sponsor.
Yeah.
The title sponsor.
Do we say the man? Is that all right? Say the man.
The man.
No,
the woman.
Yeah.
Don't forget. Don't. Me Too movement.
Well,
you don't want to be caught
corporation.
Up in that. The corporation.
Yes.
As our title sponsor is Wingstop, and Wingstop has a new chicken sandwich. And we had an opportunity to taste. Now, our bosses, Derek Eagleton and company, said no more eating live on air for you guys.
Right.
Because we don't know how to
Jesse
act.
was smacking.
I had one fan that said we should have ate on there.
Well, sorry, fan.
There. Okay.
Derek said we're not, so we're not. Nate, you were the one smacking on air. I checked out. Kurt was the only one that had any sense when we had food in the studio. So we had to eat.
I wasn't eating. That was the problem. You were the one eating.
That was. We had a chance to test these chicken sandwiches out. Nate, what flavors? Nate was the only one that got two flavors. What
lemon pepper and plain.
Lemon pepper and plain. Chris Bean, what flavors did you get?
I had barbecue.
Barbecue. Bro Will, I think, had barbecue as well.
That's correct.
Yep.
I had the hot original.
And I had the hot honey. So we're going to go around the room.
Shannon had two, by the way, too.
And Shannon had two. He had the hot
had lemon
pepper.
Yes.
He ate both of the sandwiches. Think about that. All that head he got.
Talking to the Joneses will make you nervous.
Will make you a little bit nervous.
He's going to be up there sweating.
Kurt,
it was good.
It was good?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked their hot wings to begin with, and it's a hot wing on a sandwich, man. It's great.
And the thing about this sandwich is this. You can get the sandwich in any flavor that they have available. So you look up on that board when you go on the Wingstop, all of those flavors, you can get that on your sandwich. So Kurt, you said yours were good?
Oh yeah.
Would you?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I want to try some other flavors.
Nate, you like food, and you especially like free food.
You do too.
I do like free food.
I'm going to tell you how good my lemon pepper was.
Okay.
I was looking for my ranch to dip my sauce. So I'm taking this plane home to my wife. I'm like, hey, I'm not, because when I go to bragging on it, she say, oh, you didn't bring me that. Hey, you go, babe.
Oh,
but you can't have mine.
You got your brownie.
You can't have my brownie. But I'm serious. It tasted so like what I'm normally eating, the lemon pepper. So I'm actually looking around like, man, I should have got some sauce. I should have got my ranch where I could have dipped it in.
Ranch would have been nice. Good.
Yeah, ranch would have set it off.
Yeah.
You going to put some cheese on that when you get it home?
Nah, my wife would put a slab of government cheese. You know, we try to import it through the back door.
Do you cut the government cheese thin slice? Government cheese got to be cut thin. You're right. It got to be cut thin.
If you try to cut that thin, it's going to,
you're right. Government cheese is always going to be thick.
Because it's kind of leathery.
Yeah.
You know, so you got,
You're right. Chris Bean, Your
Yes, sir.
thoughts on your sandwich?
Oh man, it was good. I like a sandwich that doesn't like a spice that doesn't linger.
Right.
It didn't linger, you know?
Okay.
So it was good. It was nice and spicy, but I don't taste it now. Does that make sense?
No, you're right. And I had the hot honey, which I love because it really gave you that sweet flavor, and then it had a little bit of kick to it. To like what Chris Bean was saying, the kick it wasn't overbearing. It was a really good like flavorfully kick that it had in the sandwich. So listen, Wingstop, the title sponsor of our show, we're all giving you 2 thumbs up on those sandwiches. So go out to your local Wingstop. Sandwiches are available now. You can get them in every single flavor that they have on the menu. So just walk in there, tell them Nate, Holly, Kurt, and Chris sent you. And for me, I like the hot honey.
Better not forget about Shannon.
And Shannon, because Shannon's the one. And Shannon, this will be the thing that Shannon holds over our head for like the next 6 months, because he won't do anything else for us for the next 6 months. Remember,
I got you them sandwiches. You
I
know
got you
that?
them sandwiches back in
So
late
don't,
August.
don't complain.
Yeah, don't complain. Don't complain because you guys don't get stuff. I got you those sandwiches. So thank you, Wingstop. We appreciate you. Go out to Wingstop right now and get that sandwich for dinner, for lunch, for breakfast, however you want to do it. All right, let's get into some real football. We had to cut the rosters down yesterday to 53 by 3 o'clock Central Time. And now we are to the point where we had 28 guys, 28 guys waived. Good news and bad news here, fellas. 28 guys waived. None of our guys got claimed off waivers. No. But the Cowboys also did not claim any other guys that got cut across the National Football League. And there were some offensive linemen out there that we thought maybe they could have. But just for reference, when you talk about claiming, right? Let's just put a reference point out there for fans who may not understand how claiming works. When guys get put on waivers and you get a chance to claim them, there is a pecking order. You just can't go out there and say, "Give me Nate Newton, give me Kurt Daniels," because you want them. Right. There's a pecking order that has to proceed first, and the order is for the way the draft went in reverse order. So it goes from worst to first. So the worst teams in the National Football League gets first pick at claiming guys off waivers, then the 31st, the 30th, 29th, so on and so forth. So understand that the Cowboys, if they didn't put claims in on guys, maybe those guys had already been claimed by another team that was ahead of them in the pecking order. So just understand that's how the waive wire happens. There's a pecking order to it. You have to wait your turn. And then when it gets to your turn, you can claim as many guys as you want in that time frame that's available to be claimed, and then it goes to the next team. Well, the Cowboys put 28 guys on waiver, 28 guys passed through waivers. Yep. They did not sign any guys from other teams off waivers, but as you see, they're beginning to bring guys back. Cooper Rush, Will Greer, Brandon Smith. Who am I missing?
Yeah, they've got 15 guys or so now in that practice squad reporting.
So now we also want to break down how this thing works, because the way that the rules have changed in the National Football League is you now have 16 guys who you can have on the practice squad. And you have this, what they're doing now, they're calling this is roster manipulation, is, guys who are injured have to make the roster, then you move them to IR, which then opened up 2 spaces. So you're saying, well, who's going to be the backup quarterback? One of those guys will get bumped up on game day. You have an opportunity to bring 2 guys up from the practice squad on game day and have them go up and down on game day, so on and so forth. So you will have a backup quarterback on game day, whether that be Will Greer or Cooper Rush. One of those guys will do it. Nate, I'll start with you first. As far as, did you feel like the Cowboys, if possible, should have tried to sign maybe a free agent or try to claim another offensive lineman or any other position in the National Football League to help bolster their roster?
Just the offensive line. But I will say this. Where does Carlos Watkins fit? I mean, they released him.
They signed him back to the practice squad.
That I'm happy. By signing him back, because he had a tremendous camp during the games, during both practices. He had tremendous practices, so I'm glad he's back. Where's C.J. Goodwin standing? Did they sign him back yet, or is he –
They haven't officially, but they're supposed to be signing him back to the active roster.
Okay.
Once they make all
okay,
these
so I'm good
moves.
Because if there were no offensive linemen out there, we set at every other position. Mm-hmm. I think we're set and solid. Now can we prosper? The offensive line is where we have no depth, no real playing depth.
Kurt, from the guys that got cut, were there any surprises for you of guys that got cut, and from the guys that got cut who had not been signed back to the practice squad yet? Are there any of the guys you're saying, man, I sure do hope we get a chance to sign this guy, or that we bring this guy back?
Not necessarily. I trust the coaches. I mean, if all those guys made it through waivers, if they're not going to bring them back now, they obviously found something they didn't like in them. Like Nate said, Watkins kind of getting that being cut over Ridgeway. Right. They obviously value their draft picks, I guess, a little more, younger guy. But it's good that he's back. You know, it's weird to see them cut both quarterbacks. There's no, Dak's the only quarterback on the active roster right now. But in some ways, they're doing a great job of, manipulating that roster with the moves they're able to. So it's going to be interesting how they play it all out. But so far, it looks pretty good.
And now that this season technically is underway, right? You got through the cuts, your roster down to 53 with the give or take of a couple.
You know what, Jess? You must be real comfortable with being an announcer because you just forgot that for 3 weeks, them rosters going to be flipping over. But go ahead on.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to set your roster.
You do.
You got 11 days.
Yeah, you got
11 days.
Yeah.
11 days to get ready for Tampa Bay. Right. I don't know how much flipping you're going to be doing in the next couple. Now, there will be some. And here's another thing. Because the way that veteran contracts work, a lot of times you'll see teams go get a veteran player after week 1.
Thank you, yeah.
And the reason being, because if a veteran player is on your roster, and this is 3 years or more. That's
3 years and 4 games.
This is what they consider a vested veteran player. Okay. 3 years and 4 games on your roster. If they are on your roster, whatever that base salary is for that player, if they're on your roster, week 1 of the season, it's guaranteed. Mm-hmm. So no matter what happens, cut, injured, whatever it happens, that year's salary for a vested veteran is guaranteed.
Yes. Yeah.
So some teams play after week 1, we'll go sign this guy, and it's almost a prorated type thing. They'll have a base salary, but it's literally a week-to-week thing. And then if they have to be cut or so on and so forth, they only get that week's salary, and I think maybe 2 more weeks of salary, and then you wash your hands with them. So yes, Nate, to your point, there will be some more manipulation of the roster because that first week, I got you, big boy. that first week of roster being cut down definitely matters. So hopefully, maybe
think the Cowboys are waiting to do that for some of this. I mean, would they wait that long for a tackle?
Yes, sir. Yes,
they've been playing with fire though, Nate. They've been playing with fire lately, man. I mean, you cut both now. Granted, I don't know what the feeling was for Will Greer and other places or Cooper Rush, but you got to be playing with fire to say, hey, we're going to cut both of the quarterbacks, waive both of the quarterbacks, and hope that now, again, taking the fans behind closed doors.
It's manipulation.
The manipulation part of this thing is a lot of times there are these wink handshakes that happen behind the scenes. The front office personnel will come to an agent or player and say, listen, because of the way we're doing things, we're going to cut you today. And once we get past the time frame and we can start signing guys again, we're going to sign you back. So don't go anywhere. Don't take any other deals. If a team wants to sign you, tell them, no, thank you. I'm staying with the Cowboys. So yes, it's dangerous. But a lot of times, most of the time, there's these wink, good faith handshakes that happens behind the scenes to where players are like, hey, you get cut today, but sit tight.
And we're going to give you all of your money for this year.
Right.
That's the guarantee.
We're going to take care of you on the back end. So just sit tight, come on back, and let's ride this thing out. So there's a lot of different things that people and fans don't get a chance to see or understand that happens behind the scenes on why this guy got cut and why is he back or how is he back. And so just understand that this thing is still like football normally is. It's a fluid situation, and it's ever changing, at least for the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season, barring that this team sees any injuries between practice and week 1 or 2 of the season.
How do players feel about that? Is it pride a little hurt because they are technically cut, or do they just they know it's a business and that's
brother.
the way it,
Let me say this right quick, like
Go ahead.
Jesse, before Jesse chime in. If you ever been cut and somebody winking you, you are happy as all get out. Yeah. Thank you. And that's what I have to say about it.
No. Pride goes out the window. Do I have a job?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That you come to me and say, hey, listen, we got to cut you today, but don't worry about that because we bring you back. I'm like, cool. I don't care about the embarrassment or supposed embarrassment of going on the internet and someone says you got cut. I don't care about none of that. Will I have a job for the next 17, 18 weeks? Yes. Cool. Do what y'all got to do. Just do what y'all got to do today, and we'll reconvene tomorrow. I'll take today off, and I'll chill. I'll lay low. I won't go out in public or nothing like that. Back in the day, you might have a little friend that come by and occupy your time. That was way back in the day, Kurt. That was way back in the day.
I'm gonna tell you, Kurt. When them people come to you, or that one person come to you and say, "Bring your playbook," and you experience that one time. You looking for the wink. Is it anybody?
Right.
I'm telling you looking for the wink, bro.
I want like a guy like Carlos Watkins. He's a veteran. He's probably, he knows he's done better in Ridgeway. But
yes,
they may have told him we're bringing you back. But is he still like, oh, damn,
Nah, it's a business.
It's bad, yeah.
And Kurt, the quicker, and a lot of young players have a problem. Not a problem. A lot of young players are oblivious to this because up until the NFL point, you've been the best player on your high school or college team, and it's never been business. You've always been the man. You've always got the opportunities. And then you come into this league where even if they draft you, it's still a level of business. And the sooner you find out or figure out that, and you'll have some teams say it, and when it's never family. I hate that. Yeah. We're family. We're not family. My last name is Holly. Your last name is something else. We're not family. And your first priority, if you're the front office, the owner, the general manager, is the team. My first priority is Holly Incorporated.
Right. Wow.
So there has to be an understanding that they're going to do what is ever best for them. Yeah. And you have to do what's ever best for you. So when those contracts come around, whether guys are trying to get new contracts or extensions or whatever it may be, and fans go, oh, you need to take a team discount. No. Because the team's going to do what's best for them at all times. You should do what's best for you at all times. And I'm going to do what's best for the show, and I'm going to go to a break. And when we come back from this break, we're going to talk more about this Cowboy roster, putting this thing together. Tyler Smith at left tackle. Do we have what we need on this roster right now to start the season off 11 days against Tampa Bay?
I want to eat this brownie so bad.
You can eat it in the break, Nate.
Come on back. I want to eat it on air, man. I want you to see how a fat man enjoys.
No, Derek said we can't eat on air.
You know what, Derek, I'm going against you. No, I'm not.
He's going against you, not Kurt. Nah. Stay right with this.
He's bringing in Kurt, not Kurt.
Stay right with this. We'll be back and hanging with the boys.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Attention Cowboys fans looking for the best shave of your life. There's a new official razor of the Dallas Cowboys, Shave Logic. Imagine not having to buy blades as often and getting more smooth shaves than your old razor, guaranteed or your money back. After more than 10 years of research and over 150 company patents, ShaveLogic is proud to offer Cowboys fans a special offer. For a limited time, visit shavelogic.com and get a free $10 gift card with your purchase. Go to shavelogic.com now for more smooth shaves guaranteed.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back. Hanging with the Boys, coming at you live. The People's Show. We are for the people, by the people. We are the people. Black, white, no. We are for the people.
We used to have a saying, I'm not going to say it around. I want to get fired, boy. Ooh, that was good, though.
As we continue to look at this Cowboys roster, they're constructing their 53-man roster, getting ready for the season, 11 days away from real-life football, taking on Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel like we've played them every year now, right? Seems like we open the season.
Them in Green Bay?
Yeah.
Can't get rid of them, man.
Can't get rid of them.
You sure they ain't in the NFC East?
You feel like it. But as we get prepared to cut this roster or formulate this roster, however you want to manipulate it, mold it into the regular season, Jerry Jones, you mold it. Jerry Jones was on the flagship.
Careful there.
Be careful now. Good thing FCC don't follow us.
Too
for the
close.
Flagship station, radio station here, 105.3 The
What
Fan.
the
Yeah, right. He was talking to Sean and RJ, and he made a bold proclamation. He said, if the Super Bowl was today, this player would suit up and play. I know, Nate. That's what he said. You know what player he was talking about?
No, sir. What player are you talking about?
He was talking about Michael Gallup. He said,
I read that once and I read it twice, and I'm still sitting here saying, which because
there's
how
only
would
one
you
Michael
do that?
Gallup. There's only one.
But-
we don't
but-
have multiple. You know, like you got like a couple Nates in your family. Like you got like, you know what I'm
My
saying?
son,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. There's only one Michael
yeah.
Gallup. This is what the owner said.
Yeah.
This is what the boss man said. He said.
And I don't like to go against Mr. Jones, but I wouldn't do that to Michael.
He said, if the Super Bowl was today, that Michael Gallup would dress and play in the Super Bowl. Now, to his point, Michael Gallup passed his physical. So he's coming off the PUP and will be on the active roster.
Yeah.
PUP would have put him automatically out for 4 games. So there is this belief between the training staff, the doctors, the medicals say that he passed his physical, and the coaches that's saying that Michael Gallup is going to be on the 53-man roster. Now, I'm not saying, and Jerry did not say, that he's playing week 1.
Right.
But you take the guy off the PUP with the hope and the imagination that maybe not week 1, maybe week 2, maybe week 3.
But if you get to week 3, you might as well go on and wait the extra week. So,
But what if you get to week 3 and you're 0-2?
Would is that kind of what they're scared of? They're like 80%, 90% Gallup is better than what they might have further down the depth chart, and they need that guy out there so they don't start 0-2?
Nate?
I don't see
Nothing wrong with a little bump.
if you're going to bring him. This is the same way I feel about Turpin. If you put him on that active roster and you saying that he is ready, you have to play him. And you can't worry about as the game progresses, and I say it's 7-7 going into the fourth quarter, you can't worry about that. If he's that guy, you got to throw in the ball and you got to put him in there and let him run routes. The pitch count goes out the window. So that's what I feel. If he's gonna be there and you're saying this openly to the fans, like I said, Jess, I read it twice, and some things I just refuse. Nah. I'm saying no. But if I believe that Britt Brown released him through rehab, and Jim Meyer released him to the coaching staff, it's time to ball. I mean, I wouldn't have personally, no. For Nate, no. I would have wanted the 4 weeks more. But if you say so, let's go.
As a receiver, you think he'll be ready? Can he play it? Can a receiver play not fully healthy?
I talked to him, and I talked to him 2 weeks ago. I said, "How you feeling, man? How you feeling?" He said, "I'm ready to go." But I expect that from a receiver, and I ignored that. He said, "I'm ready to go, man. You just need to let me go." I looked at him and said, I just started laughing. I'm like, "Boy, you get these 4 weeks." That's what I'm saying in my mind. But now, if you put him out there and he's just standing up on the sidelines, when you could have been giving these reps to these young guys trying to get them better, that ain't right. You know, you took away a spot. That's a spot you took away that somebody could be actively getting better.
I watched that video that he put out when after practice when Dak went and threw a couple routes to him, and I didn't see a player that was ready to go. You know, and Nate, you've used this terminology a lot. It's a difference from working over there with Britt Brown, throwing some routes after practice with Dak Prescott, practicing to game. You go from 0 to 100. And there is no other way to really put
right.
it but that. And not only do you do that, you're now having to defeat an opponent in front of you who is going to be a pretty good player. Because if you come out there, you're going to be the number 2 receiver. So you're going to get a really good opponent. And trusting, first of all, modern technology has become so great. I mean, what used to end your career with an ACL, what used to take a year and some change with the ACL, dudes is coming back in 9 months now, which is insane. Like that, like the human body and modern technology and medicine and surgeries and all that kind of stuff is insane that a guy can come back in 9 months, you know, to from an ACL. But to go from 0 to working on the side with Britt Brown to talking about actually playing in a game when you have not done it in almost a year, man, that is such a stretch, especially at that position, because it takes so much. Like we talk about offensive linemen, right? We talk about when I say once a back goes, everything else comes to follow because there's so much stress that's put on an offensive lineman's back, just from the posture that they're in to, you know, catching and holding a guy and all that kind of stuff, hips and all that. For a receiver, it's the same thing. There's so much pressure that's put on the knees, the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips. Because everything that you do, it's basically, I got to go from 0 to 100, stop, jerk, move, get back to 100, stop, jerk, move, 75, 100. You know, so you're doing all these stop and starts, and your speed is going from one level to the next level. And if you're not confident in that, and most of the time there's a level of compensation that comes with when you have a devastating injury like that. Because a lot of times you'll see guys come back, and I'm not wishing this on Michael Gallup, but they come back too fast, they hurt the other leg because of the level of compensation that you're saying, well, I don't really trust. And I watched that video a couple weeks ago, and I see him running out route, and you can still see a noticeable limp, but you can also see that he doesn't even trust to slow down on that leg. It's like a tap, I slow down real hard with the other leg, tap, slow down with the other. So to me, I'm no medical expert. If Britt Brown says that he's ready to go and they cleared him to go, then I guess he's ready to go. But I thought he would have missed at least the first 3 weeks of the season, just trying to get that right. And if you're rushing him back, again, that goes back to maybe we're having a coaching conversation about getting the guys on this roster that you can trust so you don't have to rush guys back because of what you may feel guys are on this roster.
It sounds like it could be more of a mental thing for him then coming back, because like you're saying, he's like stutter stepping on the stops and that kind of stuff. That seems like a mental. He doesn't trust the knee yet.
But if that's the case, then you don't bring him back. You let him go through pup, and then you work him in slowly. But if I just seen Britt do some great things with people, and if he says he's ready, and Jeremiah says he's ready, and the coaching staff believe it, and the doctors even more cleared him, hey, let the games begin. Let the games begin. But I just don't want to see Jesse and Kurt And even though I know the third and fourth, or the fourth, fifth receiver ain't going to get a lot of throws to them, I just don't want to see some of these young kids not get the ball thrown to them. You know what I'm saying? Because you just got him basically standing out there. You know, if you're gonna use him, use him.
Yeah, if he's ready to go, then he got to go.
Yeah,
like there can't be he can't be a decoy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put him in a uniform, then he needs to be a part
of what's happening
of your offense, like an integral part of your offense. You know, not just standing out there and just saying, "Hey, line up and run a go route." No, that you got to let him go out there and really be a part of it. Because to Nate's point, then you could have other guys who got those necessary reps in live games to help them and you maybe later on down the line. So if he's ready to go, then he should be a real serious part of your offense. We're going to take another break. We're going to come back. We got to talk about the offensive line. We just can't do it. Nate will have a chance to finish a little bit more of his brownies. We'll talk about the offensive line. Will Dak have a mental effect knowing that now Tyler Smith is out there and not Tyron Smith out there at left tackle? How will that play heading into this season in Week 1 against Tampa Bay? Coming right back on Hanging with the Boys.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a broken traffic light. Stop and go is the name of my game. It's easy. You go, they go. Or was it, they go, you go? And if you have the wrong car insurance, these repair costs could stop you in your tracks. So get Allstate's new low auto rate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Not available in every state based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
With Smoothie King's original Angel Food and new Angel Food Slim without added sugar, you no longer have to choose between treating yourself and hitting your goals this summer. You don't have to choose between great taste and feeling great. Because at Smoothie King, every blend is made with whole fruits and no syrups, so you can satisfy your cravings without compromise. The only choice you will need to make is which one is best for you. Try our classic Angel Food or the new Angel Food Slim, blended without added sugar. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to Hanging with the Boys. We are without our big-headed leader, Shannon Gross, but I still got my boy, Nate Newton. I got Kurt Daniels, and on the ones and twos, Chris Beam is in the back holding us down. This segment is brought to you by Blockchain, blockchain.com. That got to be a pretty good damn company when your intro and outro, whatever you want, your promo is just we blockchain, blockchain.com.
All right.
That's it.
They just signed Dak to a big deal.
Always sweet being QB1, boy. You get all the deals
here in Dallas.
Especially here in Dallas. You get all of the deals. This is why the Jones were trying to say, like, hey, listen, we're going to pay you less because you're going to get more being the QB1. They, you know what? They got a little bit of an argument there. I'm not going to lie. I'm always for the player, but there is a little bit of saying, like, when you were the Cowboys head starting quarterback, you're going to get all of the monies. Off the field.
This is the funny thing about it. You can see Mr. Jones say, hey, hello, Mr. Blockchain. Not only will you have the exposure of one of the top paying,
not one of
making
the
top paying
franchise in the world.
We gonna give you our quarterback. Now you got to cut your own deal, but we're gonna give you our quarterback.
Sort of talking about Mr. Jones, you hear that thing? I was listening to the radio this morning. I guess came out the Lakers owner, Jerry Buss, almost bought the
he had the
Cowboys
first
back
dibs.
then. Yeah,
They had the better qualifying offer, and they
Yeah.
turned it down because of how he lived at the time, how Mr. Buss lived. They're like, do we want him
He was a
portraying who we
single
are?
playboy.
Singer, playboy, girls on the hips.
Imagine that owning both the Lakers and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oof,
You'd own both coasts. Two of the biggest franchises.
Yeah.
You'd have had the East Coast. You'd have had kind of Midwest and the West.
Yeah.
That would have
about
been
making the money.
That's making all of the monies. All right, as we're 11 days away from the Cowboys taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to kick off the 2022-2023 NFL football season, it's no new news, but Tyron Smith is now out for at least, as Jerry and company says, till December. And I'm doing my air quotes. But I think it's going to be longer than that. I love how Jerry and Steven, they said when we get in the playoffs. They've already put the Cowboys in the playoffs. They're like, oh, yeah, don't you want your best players ready to go for you when you're in the playoffs? So they've already put the Cowboys in the playoffs at some shape or form. So, hey, tell Shannon don't book that Mexico trip so soon right now because Jerry said that we're going to be in the playoffs. But Tyron is out. Insert Tyler Smith. Now, there's a ton of debate about this guy, Tyler Smith, because out of Tulsa, left tackle. Now, he was the most penalized player in the country last year at that position, coming to the Cowboys, who were the most penalized team in the National Football League last year. All through OTAs for the most part, and all through training camp, all he's done was been your left guard. And even in that, he was in a battle with Connor McGovern at left guard. Couldn't win that outright throughout training camp. Down goes Tyron Smith, and the Cowboys say, well, we have future plans for Tyler Smith to play left tackle. That future just seems a little bit more present now.
Yeah.
You kick him out to left tackle, Nate.
Yes, sir.
You're still having a debate. Is Connor McGovern the left guard that you want? You're Dak Prescott. You've already had one of those catastrophic injuries. You had the calf injury last year that kind of almost derailed your season because you weren't quite the same after you came back from that. And here you are heading into this year, which for quarterbacks, every single year that you get into this league and you don't have the success you want, it's a wasted year. It's a wasted year for your status. Your team will never be the same again. You're going to lose players again next year because of contract reasons. But just mentally, Dak Prescott is now going to the games and saying, I have a very unstable left-hand side of my offensive line, which happens to be the blind side for me. How does he go? How does he approach that? What is his mental makeup? What is his mental thought process of going into football games saying, man, am I worried? Is he second guessing? Is he moving too fast? What is the thought process in your point of view that Dak Prescott needs to take into these games?
Well, first of all, you as a head coach and offensive coordinator, and I'm giving both coaches the same distinction. You meet with him and say, hey, this is our situation, and you move on. Because Dak got his hands full just reading the coverages, just making sure those young wide receivers doing what they need to do. What he has to be now is sharper than he's ever been in pre-reads. His pre-reads have to be almost perfect. So because if not one, two, get rid of the ball or take off. It ain't no more. It ain't no more of that. What you did last year, due to all the injuries, coming off of injury, it can't happen. You have to be crisp. You have to be like a Singer sewing machine. 1, 2, stitch, let it go. 1, 2, stitch, let it go. That's it. You go for third stitch, you're on your back, and that's the rest of it. I'm being honest. But until this kid get acclimated to the game of left tackle and how the offensive coordinator is going to run this, how the offensive line coach is going to design the run plays and design the pass protection, that's what you have to do. Move the pocket. But Dak should not have to, after saying, okay, new left guard, new left tackle, I can't play around, receivers, be where you're supposed to be. That's why we keep saying that Dalton Schultz going to have 100,000 passes with 10,000 yards and 85 touchdowns. Be where you're supposed to be so I can get you this ball, and we don't have to make that an issue. That's what they're praying for.
Yeah, we've seen that in the past. I think Dak is a mentally strong person and all that. But like you said, there's any doubt, he can't second guess. He's got to go in there not worrying about it.
Yes.
Like you said, if there's that, and that game is so fast, if he second guesses at all, the window's closed, that sort of thing. And so he's got to be, and maybe it's up to the coaches. They haven't been so good in the past of helping that tackle on the outside. They've got to figure out a way to scheme that up so Dak isn't second.
Yeah, and give him a fighting chance.
Yeah,
get his kid a fighting chance. If you plan, Tampa gonna have nice pass rushes. Everybody's gonna have a nice pass rushes. But we have another issue, and that's our center, especially going against their guy with the Bucs. This is the worst thing happened to the Dallas Cowboys. Not only does they have Shaq Barrett, is I got that right, and all these other guys, Devon White, that can come off this defensive end position on our left side. You got the number one bulldog in America. He's a D9 bulldozer. He can tear up highways. I'm being honest. This dude can tear up highways, moving things. You see what I'm saying? So, when God called out the mountains to be moved, hey, Vita, I need you to move about. You know what I'm saying? So, we got to be on top of our game.
So, Kurt, let me ask you this, and this is optimistic Jess.
Ooh, okay.
This is a new Jess.
Nice.
See, when I sit in this chair, I get to be a different Jess.
Right.
This is optimistic Jess. We saw Micah Parsons drafted high last year, and we didn't quite know what we were going to get from Micah Parsons. You thought you were going to get a good player, but no one had the thought process of you were going to get that player.
Yeah.
It was due to injury, suspension, COVID, whatever, that you said, you know what? Let's line this guy back defensive end, and holy smokes, we found out that Micah Parsons is a damn good edge rusher as well as being a linebacker. Is there any chance? There is a chance. Are you saying there's a chance? There is a chance. But, Kurt, I want your percentage. Is it a high percentage that Tyler Smith, who is drafted in the first round, can have a Micah Parsons type season? Meaning, no, Nate. See, wait. See, wait a second. I'm optimistic, Jess here.
Your sarcasm is beyond me.
Sarcasm. This is optimistic, Jess, trying to give
Deacon. Tell your reverend where
Kurt,
he's at
is
right
there
now.
Is there a chance that
Numbers
Tyler
1
Smith, from 1 to 100, is there a chance that Tyler Smith could come on this year, shock, I guess, Nate and you, because neither one of y'all seem to believe what I'm saying, and have a Pro Bowl type year at left tackle?
A very small percent, like 5%, if that. And again, you can't compare him to Micah. Had a year that very few. I'm
not saying he has to be Micah. I'm saying, can he shock the world and from an injury, we now discover another player on this roster like they did with Micah Parsons.
But I think the leap that Tyler Smith has to make is a lot more than what Micah has to make. I mean, smaller college. He's been working at guard all offseason.
Let me ask you this right here.
Penalty concerns.
Let me ask you this right here.
Been hurt.
Let me ask you this right here.
Let's
just start.
For the record, people, this is optimistic Jess. This is Kurt, and this is Nate being pessimistic.
Let me start.
I am being the optimistic one here in this show today.
Let me start. This is what we knew about Micah Parsons once he hit the Dallas Cowboy facilities, the Star, or whatever you want to call this place, Jerry's World, whatever you want to call this magnificent building in Frisco. Day one, this dude lined up in the A and B gaps for the Dallas Cowboys. Day two, he lined up at defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, he didn't. Day two, no, he didn't. Day two.
It was early on, though. It was early on.
Brother, they left here, what did they call them, OTAs? They left the OTAs in the minicamps with him playing more than just will linebacker.
Yeah, I remember we were talking to were they giving him too much? We were worried about
Remember we kept asking that right there? Let him learn one thing.
Yeah, I remember.
Tell me how many positions have Tyler Smith played? He barely was playing the left backup guard. Okay? So you talking about a different coach looking at his player in a different way and seeing the potential and giving him the opportunity to perform within that potential. So it wasn't totally brand new to him. Even though he going to click his heels 3 times, Tyler Smith, and he's going to go back home to left tackle. You agree? So I'm optimistic that this kid will fight through it because from understanding that a person I talked to, that new Tulsa coaching staff, that he has not have a problem with being coached hard. But I wanted to ask this great scout who used to work for the Cowboys, Coach, it's one thing to be coached hard, but if you give up like 3 sacks, can you be coached after that? And this kid is not going to give up 3 sacks. He's going to be –
Is he going to give up 4?
No, I have to believe.
I didn't know what he was going with that.
I have to believe if he started left tackle, I have to believe with all my heart that Coach Moore and Coach Philman going to do everything in their power to make sure this kid get off to a good start. I understand we're playing Tampa. I understand it is an NFC team. I understand down the road we'll be talking about ties and tiebreakers. But right now, you have to secure your left side of your offensive line, and you have to do anything, by any means necessary. You have to secure that so they can help you down the road. You can't leave them butt naked, not this early in the season.
So,
right.
Let me ask this question to Nate.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Optimistic, what's your percentage?
Yes. I'm the host.
What's your percentage?
Now he don't want to. Yeah,
he
want to look good now.
Stay optimistic.
Hit his timeline, y'all. I don't know what it is. I'm saying it right. Hit his timeline.
I'm the host, so I get to pose the questions here, Mr. Daniels. I get a chance to pose the questions for once. Nate, for confidence, as someone who's played the position, is there anything that can happen in the course of the first couple games that could break this kid's confidence? And if so, how long does it take to gain that confidence back? Because they always say football is played 90% above the shoulders, 10% below the shoulders. So that's the mental makeup of the game, the knowledge of the game. Can something happen in the game, the first 2 games, Tampa or Cincy, where this kid's mentally is broken? And if so, how long does it take to kind of get back from that before you're like ready to be a player? Because there's a lot on a left tackle
let me
with a
$40
million quarterback.
I said what I said on the NFL Network the other night, just being brutally honest. And I said what I just said. But certain things I'm not going to say because right now, and I'm dead serious, I'm not even thinking about this kid failing. All I'm thinking about is I know my head coach has to be concerned that his offensive line coach and his offensive coordinator make sure that your future left tackle don't fail. If you thinking anything else, if this kid come out of these 2 or 3 games and looking like a total failure, which that will ride him forever. You got to understand, first-round pick versus free agent, I get a chance to laugh. I get a chance to grow. Still get a chance. Oh, what you think? We didn't draft Steele. He come out of Texas A&M. Is it Texas Tech? We got Okay, if he make it, he make it. This is a future first-round pick. It is your job as a head coach, as an offensive line coach, and as a coordinator to make sure this kid don't fail. Because I saw 7 years ago a guy called Flowers coming out of the University of Miami with great skills, great technician coming out of college, get ruined because they did not take care of him. They did not coach him up right. And guess what, Flowers? Yeah, he's still floating around the league as a guard. So if you don't do it right, you can hurt this kid. So I'm not going down that road because I remember coming in and telling these guys, I said, y'all, New York Giants got a turnstile as a number 1 pick. I do not want to say this after this game. I refuse to believe that. So I'm sorry I didn't answer your question, Jerry. I mean, not Jerry, but
No, my next place I'm going is back to something that Jerry Jones says, and I think this may be the route to help a guy like Tyler Smith is, you can't sit up there and pass the ball. And this is why it's so important for that defense, for this Cowboy defense, to hold that Tampa Bay team, because if it gets to be they're up 10, 12, 14 points, and now you are forced into passing the ball much more than you wanted to, now it's almost he becomes a sitting duck. But going back to something else that Jerry Jones said, Jerry Jones was on the flagship station, and he said that this Cowboys team will be primarily early on a running football team. And that running football team will be led by none other than the $16 million man, Zeke Elliott. Kurt, is that the proper strategy to go with? And if the Cowboys are going back to the 90s Cowboys, can Zeke hold up for the season?
I don't care. Go ahead on.
I'd say that's a no and a no. It's not the proper.
Because we are in a pass.
Yeah, it's a
passing league with very few teams. Maybe Tennessee, maybe Denver, the Ravens, a little bit of Arizona being more so dominant running football teams. And the Cowboys are saying, Jerry Jones is saying, and most of the time when Jerry Jones is saying stuff, it's been talked about in the big boy meeting when everybody comes and he's sitting at the head of the table. So we're getting information from there that maybe that Mike McCarthy might not win out, but Jerry says, I'm Jerry Jones and I'll say what I want to say. But a running football team.
Yeah, but I think even those teams that are considered running football teams, they're probably passing more than they
it's going to be
run. But they have such a strong back, and that's the question you have here. Do the Cowboys have a back that can hold up? Are they going to utilize Tony Pollard like they've been saying they would for the last 3 or 4 years? I mean, yes, they may have to lean on the run a little more, but they can't be. I mean, in this day and age, you can't win being a running team. You have to be able to pass the ball.
But Nate, doesn't running help an offensive lineman a little bit more than it does in having a pass set for 35 times a game?
I'm going to tell you something. If we average 70 plays a game, 30 of them, it's got to be runs, some type of run, long handle runs, throwing the ball out of the backfield to Zeke and to Tony, letting them make a man miss, getting the ball quickly to Turpin, hoping he can make a guy miss. But that trying to throw the ball downfield and all of that right there, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. You're gonna have to run the ball somehow, some way. You're gonna have to run the ball to get your guys into rhythm, to get them into some type of rhythm. And yes, it's gonna be some games where you're gonna have to pass.
Yeah, I mean,
and this is where Ferguson got to be big.
I mean, they're just gonna load the box and say, we got the guys that can rush. And
if you load the box, Dak is smart enough to know that he can go to a run option pass. And I'm quite sure they're going to have a lot of that in there this year. Well, you load that box, bring the safety on down here. We got Ferguson. Is that 11 personnel with 2 tight ends or 12?
That's 12.
That's 12. And we got Ferguson in there. And he can catch. But he can also get in the way a little bit better than the other kid. So now, we got – I think they got some things. I just want to believe this right here, that if you're not going to run the ball – and you're going to wing it, and you're going to wing it out, it's going to have to be fast, quick, and in a hurry. It's going to be like the old 49ers. I mean, that they used to get it out. They used to get it out and get it into their receivers' hands. I'm not saying you can't win games, but we have not been able to win games when our quarterback is 45 passes or more. We have not been able to win games.
But shouldn't this be the evolution of Dak Prescott? I mean, because
it is.
Because people, when you start paying quarterbacks $40, $45, $46, $50 million, there's a level of expectation that comes along with that. And I get it. Sometimes it's, hey, he's the next man up. He's QB1. The market dictates this, so we have to pay that. But there is a level of expectation that comes with
Garoppolo didn't get paid.
Garoppolo's not a good quarterback.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why he didn't get paid, because of what you were saying now.
Right, but I'm saying all that to say that despite what is happening with the offensive line, despite what you may have lack of at wide receiver, when you pay a quarterback $40 million, there's an expectation of,
yes, it is.
Okay, dog, now you got to carry us. All right,
yes, it is.
Like now you have to make up the difference. Wherever we're lacking, wherever we're not as strong. And I agree to your point, Nate. Dak's pre-snap reads have to be perfect. Not so-so, not 50%, not 60-40. You got to be in the 90 percentile on assessing, processing, delivering. Assessing what the defense is, processing where your guys are going to be, and then delivering the ball to the playmaker's hands to get them going in the right direction.
On top of Michael Gallup that's coming off an injury, on top of a Dennis Houston that ain't never played, on top of a Noah Brown that has only had maybe 100 passes on to him. The only thing you got is CeeDee Lamb, and then if they cover him, if they double cover him, what do? See, this is
why they pay you $40 million.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm agreeing. That's why I said that's why they didn't play Garoppolo, because they didn't think he was that type of quarterback. But they think Dak is that guy that's at that level now where he can do all of these things you just spoke of. And he will have to do it on top of Dennis Houston, on top of Jalen Tolbert, on top of Michael Gallup. I'm just saying, he got 2 receivers right now, a tight end and CeeDee Lamb. Those guys should respectively, well, not respectively, one of them going to have 120 passes, and the other going to have 100. That's just the bottom line. And if you're not trying to key these guys and throw to these guys and Tony Pollard and Zeke out of the backfield.
Kurt, how much weight or stake are we putting on when we look at this team offensively? Because I think going around the room, I think we all feel confident that Dan Quinn has this defense in the proper place that he wants to be successful.
Yeah.
So is this the year of we see what Kellen Moore is worth, or we completely be done with him?
Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one because I don't know. Is he going to have the talent, the horses up front to get what he wants to get done?
I mean, we look at like the creative minds create, right? We label Kyle Shanahan. We label guys like that. What's my other guy in LA?
The Rams coach.
The Rams coach.
Yeah, and the Chargers coach.
Right. So like we label guys like that of being these creative geniuses.
Okay.
And Kellen Moore, I don't know if it was warranted or not, but he was kind of given that kind of boy wonder type of bag that got put on his back. So, I mean, at what point in time do we say, all right, boy wonder, this put up or shut up time? Like, get creative. Get creative. We have there's elite quarterbacks, and then there's the next level of quarterbacks. We have the next level of quarterback. So with that, put you head and shoulders above a lot of football teams in the National Football League.
24 of them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at least half of the league. So now create. Create. Put guys, and whether that is, if it's only 88, if it's only Schultz and CD, then damn it, put those guys in every single position like a Rubik's Cube or Dominique Dawes. Stretch and flip them in every single way that you can to get them.
What type of dog?
Dominique Dawes. Remember Dominique Dawes?
Oh, okay,
the gymnast?
Yeah. Okay, Dominique Dawes. I thought you said Dominique Dahl. I'm like, what in the world is that?
To be successful.
Yeah. You put it like that, then this is a year that he needs to, like we were talking before the show, the Rams got the ball to Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl. Everybody in the stands knew it was going there. Kellen's going to have these few targets. He's going to have to figure out how to get them open and get them the ball.
Well, fellas, it's been real. We made the 53 because we still got jobs here. So we'll be back here Friday giving you more updates what this Cowboys roster is.
We waived Shannon.
We waived him.
And we're going to bring him back.
Possibly.
Okay.
At least the practice squad.
Possibly. Yeah. At least the practice squad. We're going to see if we can put him in a uniform on Sunday. Right. Nate, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Kurt, appreciate you. Chris
Kurt,
Beam.
that was good conversation.
Bro,
now.
Willie in the back. Thank you to Wingstop. Thank you to
Willie.
Thank you to all the
Willie
listeners
Wonka
for tuning in. We appreciate you, the People Show. Without you, there is no us, and we continue to ask that you continue to show up for us each and every day. Remember, you never know what anyone's going through, so be kind, eliminate the contingencies. This is Hanging with the Boys, and we're out of here.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!